Hello and welcome to the News Minute. There is a lot of hue and cry about the role of Election Commission in this 2024 elections, where opposition parties are alleging that the Election Commission is not free and fair. To talk about this, I have with me someone who knows the election process, who knows what happens at the booth level, Mr. NR Elango, who is a senior advocate, DMK's Rajya Sabha member, and who also heads the DMK's war room for the 2024 Lok Sabha election. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank
Sir.
you.
What is this issue that the opposition parties are having with the Election Commission?
You see, in every election, the electoral role is important. Who are your electors? It is more important. And on the date of polling, how many numbers of those voters polled is the criteria. Because it is not by ballot papers, it's not physical ballot papers, it is electronic voting machines. There is a great doubt about the correctness of the machine. Now, if you go and see the Election Commission website, on the frequently asked questions, FAQ on EVMs, I remember it is question number 62. In question number 62, in FAQ, ECI says that we have confidence level of 4 sigma level. You know, in computer parlance, it is 6 sigma level is the 100% reliability of the machine. 4 sigma level, they say 99 point so and so and so. 99 point so and so is not what is expected in an election, because so many elections were won and lost in one vote.
1% also matters, one vote also matters.
One vote matters. Correct. Even equal numbers are coming. Toss, through toss people are winning in these elections. So 99 point something is not 100%. What election process is 100% correctness should be there. So how many votes are polled is the question. Election Commission, they collect data, even in the counter file before the Supreme Court, they say we collect data, there is so many difficulties in collecting correct data. So we give tentative or approximate number of votes which are polled at 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, like that, and at the end 5:30, after the closing of poll. They call it P day, polling day. Then next day, P+1, they announce a particular number. What happens? There can be margin of error to the extent of 1% or 2%. Last election, if you see, even in the counter affidavit filed before the Supreme Court, the maximum variation was around 1 to 2%. 2.5% was the maximum. 2019 election, with the announced percentage of poll and exact number of votes. This election, the variation is somewhere between 4 to 5%.
Okay.
That annoys. That gives a botherization to the political parties.
That's where the question is. Now everyone is talking about the 17C forms. Why is this 17C form so important? And why are political parties demanding that these forms should be uploaded? Because it has never happened before. Now, why is that this demand is coming up?
I think this question is a little technical. Bear with me if it is too technical.
The reason why I'm talking to you is because we need to explain it to people in very simple terms.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Who has a legal background, you will be able to.
Every election, there are so many forms are prescribed. Like how you have to file your nomination, a format is prescribed in the Representation of People Act 1951 and Conduct of Election Rules 1960. So, in this, after completion of poll, the presiding officer is mandated to fill up a form called 17C, which consists of 2 parts. Part 1, Part 2. part 1 is to be filled by the presiding officer of the polling booth immediately after the election. After closing the election, he have to note down how many votes, total votes in that polling booth, how many votes polled, what is the machine number, that is control unit number, what is the VVPAT number, what is the ballot unit number. Pink paper seal and green paper seal, there are 2 seals in the control unit. Some, it is not mandated because that is there, not in the format. Few officers are filling it that also. And they have to give a true certified copies of those forms to every agent, including the independent agents. That is to verify, and the original 17C form will be kept in the control unit box itself and then sealed. Then they are sent to strong room. On the date of counting, first 17C form will be taken, number of votes polled will be informed, then the start button will be pressed. It will show how many votes polled. It has to tally. And the control unit number has to be tallied. These 2 things are mandatory. It is very difficult for any political party, even for Tamil Nadu, to collect all 68,000 polling booths, 17C, collate it and make a format, give it to their agents to verify during the counting. Because a hectic day it is, polling day. All polling agents are not well educated or sometimes not educated. They may not know the importance of 17C. They may go to their home without collecting it. Somebody collect it, misplace it. Somebody collect it, will not deposit with the candidate. Without those form 17C exact number, what is there in counting? You don't know what is to be counted, how many votes to be counted. So that is the importance of 17C.
So 17C form is the key. It's like a mother document. Yeah.
Immediately after the counting, 17C form, this part 2 have to be filled up by the counting officer.
Okay.
That this number of votes were there, this many votes were polled for DMK, for ADMK, something like that. Then in that counting agent will sign.
Okay.
Part 1 will be signed by the polling agent, part 2 will be signed by the counting agent. And if it only correlated, tallies, it will be taken as a correct counting. Okay. Otherwise, it has to be reported to the RO, who in turn will report to the ECI. In this backdrop, the claim of the opposition, I don't think BJP is asked for publishing 17C. They will not ask for it. 17C form to be published in the website, not immediately. At least 3-4 days after the polling is over. If 17C form of all the booths are published in the Election Commission website, it will be easy for political parties to take a copy of it, go for counting well prepared.
No, but the point is that the polling agents already have a 17C
That's
form.
what I'm saying. It is very difficult in country like India, where the persons who are participating as polling agents are illiterate, do not know the importance of 17C, do know about 17C, misplace it. Not misplacing it, not depositing due to carelessness. What is affected is the free and fair elections. The political parties are not given opportunity to cross-verify the votes. We are not asking any internal data of the Election Commission of India. We ask already what you have given to the political parties and the candidates. It is not a secret document.
But that is already available. Why do you want it on a website? Why do you want it to be made public? Because it's a document that is given to the agent.
Correct. do we think that only the political parties are the stakeholders? The voters are also stakeholders. The general public is also stakeholders. They don't have 17C. They cannot say, they cannot go and get a copy, but they can see it from the ECI website, right? Ultimately, elections are conducted for them and by them. And you want to keep them away from this process.
So no wonder people call you a good advocate, because you have come up with this point, because there can't be a counter argument to this. Yes, people need to know. People are also, keeping a watch on what exactly is happening in this election process. But the point that ECI has made now, they have filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court. They say that the 17 C forms may be morphed. There may be some mischief that will be played.
No, you can.
It will create a situation of mistrust.
In the advanced age of computer, you can't say that people will be morphing, because you can make the forms not to be printed. There are so many methods in the computer that nobody can take a copy of it. Nobody can print it out. It is only available in the website. You can't download it. So many protections are there in the advanced computer science. Correct. We are seeing so many websites where you can't copy, you can't download, you can't print that page. Why? Can you go and print a page in the library, web libraries? You can't take printouts.
Yeah, but having said that, here the issue is that if the forms are printed, if it is in a booth, for example, somebody plays some mischief, saying that I have this form, the number is different and all that. And today, in a day and age where technology
how
is
can
used
it be
for
morphed?
Anything.
If election commission...
But don't you think that the apprehension that is raised by the election commission is not reasonable?
It is not at all.
Atrocious?
Very atrocious. In the advanced age of computer science, the forms which are uploaded in their web pages can be controlled from printing, downloading and copying. If you log that for those features, you can only see. That's all.
So what happens, on the counting day, if a booth agent or if somebody who's representing a candidate goes without the absolute numbers? Because there is also this question that activists are demanding.
I'm going for a counting without knowing what is there to be counted.
Without knowing how many votes were there, how many votes
I'm
were
asked
polled.
to take care of what do you call a library. You say you are in charge of this library, and I should know how many books are there. Without knowing the exact number of books, you can come and say no, 10 books were there extra. You have taken it like that. A counting person who goes to the counting table should know how many votes to be counted. The free and fair election, if the election commission is propagating free and fair election, it is only right on their part to publish this 17C, not immediately. I asked them to publish it at least 4-5 days prior to the date of counting. That's the only thing. The other things are, one more thing is there. Form 20 is there. Form 20 is after 17C part 2 is filled up. Those details are again...
That is after the counting.
Those details are again taken from part 2 of 17C and entered in Form 20. Form 20 is the last form wherein which the votes are written and declared. That Form 20 is being uploaded every time by the Election Commission. Now you can go to the Election Commission website and see in 2019 which party is polled how many votes in which booth.
Yeah.
When Election Commission can do that. So I can take a printout of it, morph it and file an election petition challenging it, right?
Possible.
Then the same argument can be placed by ECI. When you can upload Form 20, why not 17C?
Okay, what do you think is the reluctance of the ECI saying that we cannot publish Form 17C?
That's the bigger question, because As long as the Election Commission says, I believe EVM's Six Sigma level, 100%. Then they will not have problem of publishing it. As long as they have doubt over 0.001% of the functioning of EVM, they will not publish it. That's the problem. The authenticity of election EVMs very much relies upon how much vote polled, how much votes were there in the machine. If difference is 50, for example, in a particular political booth, 50 is the exact difference vote. We can say
is the
mock poll number. So you can safely assume the presiding officer has omitted to delete that 50 votes.
Okay.
You can safely draw a conclusion. Assume and presume very well. But if the difference is 100, 120, what will happen? Justice Madan Loku's committee says in one 2019 election, in one of the assembly constituency, the difference was around 18,000 votes. Election Commission never ever commented on that. Every petition they file it before the Supreme Court. This accusation is made, this report is placed. Election Commission has not responded to it. So, why Election Commission is reluctant is, unless they are convinced 100%, not 100% on EVM, they will not give 17C.
Then the question is that you never insisted about 17C in 2019.
Correct.
You never insisted about 17C in 2014.
Okay.
Or in any of these assembly elections. But why are you insisting 17C in this particular election in 2024? What has changed? What has changed from the past elections?
Getting better knowledge or getting lessons from the past elections?
Now you can't say that, okay, all the opposition parties in India woke up suddenly and we are demanding 17C.
I am telling you the reason.
That can't be a fair argument.
I am telling you the reason. In the Election Commission counter in the Supreme Court, they inform that this difference of votes in this election, for all the 5 phases, they announced particular percentage of votes. Next day or 2 days later, it was 5% to 4% votes difference. 2019 election also there was variation. That was between 1 to 2%. That is very, very understandable. See, the first day you collect only the rough numbers. Second day you make it pakka. And you see 1%, 2% variation. It happens. Everywhere it will happen. 5%, 6% difference is not acceptable. That's why we are asking now. All right. 5 to 6% is not a problem. Next election it made 10%. Even then I have to accept it. I should not ask for it.
So now, when
the numbers are really annoying, the difference of 6% vote is a great number in an election.
Okay, in terms of how many lakhs? How many lakhs? Can you just say?
12 lakhs of votes.
12 lakhs. So it will swing the...
Take Sri Perumbudur. It is 23 lakh votes. Take 5% of it. It is more than winning margin sometime.
Correct. So I also feel that somewhere the opposition parties are making this as an issue because they lack some kind of faith in the Election Commission or losing confidence in Election Commission, or the attitude of the Election Commission is a problem.
See, we are all the opposition. It is not opposition party or ruling party. Political parties. Let us take
political parties. Yeah.
Because sometime down the lane you can see BJP was opposing EVM very much. Sometime. And Mr. Subramanian Swamy alone wanted VVPAT to be introduced. So political parties, they see that this has to be improved every time. We learn lessons in each election. Last time what happened? Where is the problem? Where EVM has gone wrong? So we learn lesson. we give suggestions to ECI. ECI is the umpire. Only one institution which can frame its own rules for the conduct of elections. For the only one motto of Election Commission is what? Free and fair elections. So if I'm a third person, I'm walking into ECI's office and say, sir, please, this rule is not correct. Please change this. And if it is appealing to them, they can issue a notification to that effect. When political parties are suggesting you that please publish 17C, it is not we are believing or not believing ECI. We are trying to improvise the system, improve the system. The institution has to
bring in more transparency. And this election, you feel that this is the time that Election Commission should be more transparent. It's not about you are having lack of faith in the Election Commission or in the conduct of elections.
That the way in which they are defending this, making us not to believe Election Commission.
So that trust factor is something which is like huge.
Yes.
And particularly in this election, it's
no, every election.
Okay.
we may say every election. In this election, because of the numbers are very glaring, 5 to 6% difference. That's the problem for us.
And some say that the political parties, particularly the opposition parties, is making this as an issue because they want to keep the Election Commission on tenterhooks. They want to keep the Election Commission on check. This is some kind of a strategy. What exactly is your reaction to that?
Will any player will be like to be friendly with the umpire or opposing the umpire?
Okay.
If everything is all right, I'll be trying to be friendly with the umpire, not be accusing him. Right? I will keep the umpire in a good humor. I will not find fault with him if everything goes right. So, why should unnecessarily? Because it is not ECI. I am contesting with ECI. I am contesting the elections. Who are going to decide? People are going to decide whom to vote. In that process, if I am making false or very absurd allegations against ECI, what people will think about us?
So the demands of the opposition parties is justified. It's reasonable.
Yes.
And it's doable.
100%. What Election Commission says, I cannot scan all 17C forms in the polling booths. We don't want them to do that. Bring, RO is the collector. Collector of every district is the returning officer. Collector's office is having a scanning machine. A collectorate is going to have only 12,000 to 13,000 Form 17Cs. How many days it will take to scan them?
What something goes wrong there?
Yeah. What will go wrong in that? So 17C forms are scanned in the collector's office, uploaded in 3-4 days. What prevents them? They say there is no provision. It is not mandatory. It is not statutory obligation. Correct? Or everything is there in statutory, this thing alone you are doing. You are making notifications. Your model code of conduct. Every time you improve the model code of conduct or everything is placed before the parliament? No. If you are assuring transparent elections, why can't be transparent in this also?
Right, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was a pleasure interacting with you and listening to your arguments.
This election season, your right to choose puts you at the heart of it again.
We'd like to be your eyes and ears.
Choose the journalism and media that serves democracy and you.
Simply head on to newslaundry.com/subscription and pick up the TNM NL joint subscription of your choice today.